Okay, let's see what I can make of this. Robert, please try to think back to that moment.
I'm trying. I'm remembering the last time I met with my wife. He came up in that conversation. I just can't remember well. The details are...
Sarah was a very beautiful woman. So sad. Your wife was beautiful.
Yes, she always will be.
I can't figure out what color dress she was wearing. Do you remember what color dress she was wearing that day?
Why are you asking me these questions?
It could help you remember details.
I can't remember.
He took a picture of her. Maybe this could help trigger more memories. What were you doing before you left? Did you have your cell phone with you? Did you receive any calls?
Yes, I did. And I took a picture of Sarah.
What did you do after?
I sent it to my sister. I don't know how this is of any help.
Trust me, it is. There's a text message from Karina. What's your sister's name?
Karina. I haven't seen her since, well...
Did she reply to that picture you sent her?
Yes. She commented on... She said she loved the color of the dress because it was her favorite color.
What is that?
Blue. Karina's favorite color is blue. It was our mother's favorite color as well.
What was your wife's dress color again?
Blue.
No, that's not right. They made a nice couple. Is this a note? Maybe I can make him remember it. Did you give her something that day? Anything?
Yes, in fact I did. A note.
What did the note say?
I don't remember. It was... I saw her opening the note as the tea pulled away.
All right, what do we have here? What did the note say? I need to gather more info. My visions are too confused. What about the note? What did the note say?
I'm sorry, Agent. I don't remember.
Robert, I want you to listen to this and tell me if it brings back any memories.
Mr. Goodman, let's go back to that last meeting with her. Was your wife upset that night? Our anniversary was last Wednesday. She was sad I was going to spend another one away, so we had dinner at our favorite restaurant. I had to leave from there, so we walked to the closest train station. I looked at my cell phone when I was leaving, and I told her it was our time. Inside joke. I handed her a note. The note said...
Any information you can give me from here?
The time. 9:30 p.m. It was something that Sarah always remembered from some date we had when we started going out. That was the time that night. Yes.
What about the note? What did the note say?
I don't remember. Don't you wish sometimes we could go back in time? I would have never left her that night.
What would I need to reenact that time?
This is obviously a suicide. At least it'll pass as one. We don't have time to deal with this.
Don't you want to investigate further?
When you've been on the force as long as I have, you'll learn to pick the big cases from the ones that'll only suck up your resources and not go anywhere. We'll talk more outside.
Do you remember any other details?
Oh, Sarah was romantic. She liked nice dinners with candles and having a song that was just for us. That night I handed her a note. The note said, it was something from a song called The Taking from Scarlet Furies. She told me several times that it was our song. So I wrote her something from those lyrics. I wish I'd paid attention to that stuff when it mattered.
What about the note? What did the note say?
I'm sorry, Agent. I don't remember.
I can't just tell it to him. He'd freak out. I have to find a more creative way of doing this. How can I find the time? How can I find the date? Do you remember the date when this happened?
No, I don't. Sorry, Agent.
Can you remember the time when you last met your wife?
The time. 9:30 p.m. It was something that Sarah always remembered from some date we had when we started going out. That was the time that night. Yes.
October 2008. This should help me figure out what I need. What about the note? What did the note say?
I'm sorry, Agent. I don't remember.
What station were they at? Robert, you mentioned the last time you saw your wife was at a train station. Can you remember what station it was?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember what station it was, but I do remember I took her to a Thai restaurant on Boylston Street. Her favorite place. They have the best chicken curry in town. We went to the closest station on our way back.
Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
No. I'm sure I could remember if I hear the name.
This should help. Okay, let me look for that restaurant's name to help Robert. There we go. This should help Robert. That's not the song I'm looking for. Okay, Robert, tell me if any of these ring a bell. Pad Thai?
That doesn't sound right.
Fusion noodles?
That doesn't sound right.
Basil leaf?
No, doesn't ring any bells.
Curry Palace?
Yes, the Curry Palace, that's the one.
Okay, we're making progress. Robert, you mentioned the last time you saw your wife was at a train station. Can you remember what station it was?
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember the name?
Yes.
What did the notes? I need to gather more info. My visions are too confused. Oh, this is it. This is the song. The Taking by the Scarlet Furies. Sorry, I thought I had set this to vibrate.
That...
What about it?
That song. That's our song. Oh, the note I wrote her had a phrase from that song. And though the rest I'm bound to lose, the one thing I'll take with me is you. This is... strange.
It's a great song. And maybe it's a sign. I really do think I can help you, Robert. What was that phrase?
And though... I remember now. I remember clearly. I took a picture of Sarah before we walked down to Copley Station. Sarah had that look on her face. I knew exactly what it was.
God, this station is dirty.
They need the janitor from our station. What's his name again?
Mr. Longmore. Anthony.
Anthony, yes. He's a nice man.
Yeah, he's one of the only friends I have.
have to make an effort to like this city.
It feels like our life is a long string of goodbyes.
And hellos. Sarah, you know this is what I do for a living. Here, I wrote this for you. I could only find a napkin. I love you, Sarah.
Your train is here.
I'll be back before you know it. That was the last time I ever saw her alive. After I found her hanging in our apartment, my job, none of it made sense anymore. You have your name now. Am I free to go, Agent Reed?
Robert, I'm going to do my best to get to the bottom of this.
Oh, thank you. For Sarah's sake. You're a kind woman. I know it's none of my business, but you mentioned a brother who'd been murdered. Whatever happened to him, let it go. Don't end up where I did.
Great job, and you didn't even need me.
I'll go run a search on Longmore. Can you give Goodman a ride?
I'll try to get him to a shelter.
Have you seen any good memories lately? I have one for you. Search for Amy Lewis. I'm sure it'll ring a bell or two. Oh. Who the hell is sending me these? Anthony Longmore. Worked for the T. This is our guy. Another hanging. Ruled as a suicide. But I have a feeling it's another murder. I'll have to check on this case later. For now, I'll focus on the Goodman case. Who's sending me these messages? McCoy?
Red?
I found the name of the victim.
That's my Red. Do you have an address?
Yeah, heading there now. Coming?
No, too many donuts. You take Sully with you.
Great.
What? He worked on the case.
Did he put you up to this?
Ain't Cupid a fat ass too?
I just got a message in my phone pointing me to another victim. Another girl found hanged in her house 2 years ago.
So what's on your mind?
I think we're looking at a serial killer. The real question is, why would the killer change his patterns all of a sudden?
What do you mean?
His previous victims passed as suicides. This was an obvious murder.
Guy got tired of dancing and wants to get caught?
I don't know. This seems too complicated in a way. It seems almost like a game.
It's not common, but killers do change M.O. from time to time.
Maybe. I'm going to go back to my work.
Go get him, Red.
Hey, Sully.
Hi, Erica.
I need you to come with me.
Lunch?
Would you drop it with that damn lunch? We got work to do.
I thought you didn't want me to come with you.
Well, yeah, I do now. Hurry up before I change my mind. That's the address I got from Anthony Longmore's records.
I got the keys from the landlord.
2 points for diplomacy.
Hey, you know me. I'm a charmer. He mentioned that Longmore was going to move out at the end of the month. What are we looking for?
Anything that can tell us why this guy was killed. Tacky.
Found something?
Maybe. What are you hiding? It's a bachelor pad, all right. Longmore's 45 now. Probably never married. There has to be something here. There's only one picture decorating the entire room. This guy fits the lonely profile, all right. I bet this is his mother. What's the combination to this thing? No, that's not right. These look like pieces of the same picture. Who is this person?
What is all that?
Let's look at it. This file has info on 3 different women, all from Memphis. And things in here. A candy wrapper, a few long strands of hair. A long handwritten dialogue between one of the women and someone else. The women's names are Carolyn Palmer, Megan Martha, and Beth Williams. This is our guy, Longmore. So he's kept a file on himself? Let's see. Looks like he worked in public transportation in New York and Memphis. He was charting his weight every few days. He has a detailed account list of all the movies he's seen this year. and women he noticed while in the theater. There are 3 women profiled in this folder, all from New York. It's full of little notes, shopping habits, places where they ate, clothes they wore most frequently. The 3 women's names are Janelle Katona, Emily Carlson, and Nadia Schwartz. I'll look at those other cases in more detail later. I want to focus on the case at hand, and I think I have all the info I need with the Boston profiles. Damn it, this was right under my nose. Sarah Goodman, Amy Lewis, and Elizabeth Bauer. I know Sarah and Amy, so does that mean that Elizabeth was already... Ugh, damn it. She was before Sarah. There are notes in here on them, tons of details. Today I brushed up so close I was able to smell her. What? What is this? Elizabeth, it looks like Longmore had a pretty detailed fantasy life with you. Lots of notes on it. He knew where you lived, too. 730 Joy Street. Looks like he tracked you for some time, Amy. Address is at 1170 Melrose. This is the one that's not a surprise. Sarah, murdered in her house at 514 Chestnut Street. Oh, maybe I'm just exhausted right now, but sometimes this shit gets to me. Sully, call someone in the department and find more on these women.
You got it. Hey, Martin. Yeah, I need you to look a few things over for me. Yeah, I have a couple of names for you. Yeah. Uh-huh. Right, okay, the first one. Okay, we got some info here. These women were all suicides, except for Emily Carlson in New York. They never caught the killer, but it was an obvious murder. The third woman in New York, Nadia Schwartz, hasn't been reported as missing or dead.
Sully, Anthony Longmore was a killer.
You think? What's our evidence?
Give me a second to answer that. Fingerprint bypass? What do I do now? Okay, let's try this. There we go. Who the hell is sending me these? This guy again. Who the hell is he? Samuel Sewell was one of 6 judges that sentenced 19 men and women in the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts. Of all the judges, he was the only one who later repented, taking all of the blame and shame for the sins he had committed by sentencing the innocent people to death by hanging. The case of Judge Sewell provides a very interesting view on how the power of governmental agencies can, if abused, act against the same people who elected them and whom they are sworn to protect. Had Samuel Sewell and his fellow judges investigated the cases further and not opted for superstitious view, the whole tragedy could have been averted. A memory card? Okay. Doesn't seem used much. He must get a lot of takeout. He worked for the tea. Sully, Anthony Longmore was a killer.
You think? What's our evidence?
Those women from the safe are his victims. He took those photographs. And he's been doing it for years, until someone stopped him last night. He was in Tennessee first, and then in New York. He killed these women, and he had a pattern. He kills in groups of 3.
How do you know?
2 reasons. He was moving out soon, and he's killed 3 victims in every state except for New York. Look at the boxes. You mentioned the landlord said he was moving out. He was done here, ready to go on to the next city. He killed in 3s all the time.
But what happened in New York? Why is Nadia Schwartz still alive?
Because of Emily Carlson's case. They almost caught him. He fled New York before his work was done there, and he could never get to Nadia Schwartz. It's clear, even the way he met his victims.
How?
He met them through public transportation. He worked there. That's where he targeted his victims.
Yeah, you're right. But if this piece of shit was murdered last night, done in the same way that he killed his victims, then who killed him?
Good question. And why did they send clues to Davies? And to me?
This is a hell of a mind screw. We gotta keep looking.